Welcome to Jason Bites Back, episode number 16, the series of which where I answer questions and or respond to random comments, because it's fun. Plex is awesome and everything, but if you really want to squeeze the most features out of your Plex media server, you can get a Plex Pass. Now, while there are many benefits to having a Plex Pass versus a free user account, my favorite one is getting early access to new features that Plex has not yet released to the general public. So if you're like me and you want to try out those new features, check out the description down below. Down there you can either purchase a Plex Pass for yourself or a friend, and hey, if you don't have a free account, use my link as well. It helps me out. So check out the description down below to get your Plex Pass today. As always, guys, I like to give a shout out to my Patreon subscribers, both in the beginning of this video and at the end of the video in like a credit type style. I definitely want to show my gratitude and say thank you to all of my Patreon subscribers. So again, I will list those names at the end of this video, so look out for that. Speaking of which, I actually had somebody who does not want to be named help me out with a laptop. So I'm using that today. It's a Razer. It's a couple years old, but it's still more than enough probably than what I'm going to need for CES. Like I have mentioned before, I am going to CES 2019, at least that's the plan. But I've bought the tickets that I need, like the flight ticket and the hotel room. So now really all I have to do is get my CES registration done, which I think those are available in a month or two. I don't know, but either way, that's bought and paid for and I'm ready to go. I was just working out a few different things that I have to do in order to make that CES trip happen, like audio and a laptop for a mobile editing solution. So now I am one step closer. Literally at this point, I gotta go to my shopping cart at B&H Photo and buy the audio setup that I think I'm going to need to run with my, I don't have my camera near, but my AX100. So that's really exciting to me. I really want to go and I hope I do okay. But I'm inching one step closer throughout this year and getting the CES, thing down. So that's exciting. But I definitely want to say thank you. I mean, this has helped me out a lot and I greatly appreciate it. And just in case you haven't noticed, yes, I'm a little red. I went to the lake and I can't go to the lake without getting burnt. So. But hey, moving on, the first question or comment that I'm responding to, I might have responded to before, a similar one. It says, is that a real AR-15? I do just want to restate that, yes, I have an AR-15. I'm not scared to show it on a video if it just happens to be in frame. It is what it is. I like to do target practicing. I do have a handgun. I like guns. I'm not like a super collector or anything. I don't like obsess over them. But about once or twice a year, I like to just go and have target practice. I mean, it's fun. So, if you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. Next question or comment. Great video. Can I set this up wirelessly or do I have to use a network cable? That is from Michael, not going to say your last name because I'll screw it up, on how to set up a NordVPN on a router. Shameless plug, if you do want to get a big ass discount on NordVPN, use my links down below. It's like a huge discount and I much appreciate you if you do. But this is basically, I was setting up NordVPN on the router and he was basically saying, hey, can I do this wirelessly or do I have to use a network cable? Honestly, you're not making any route changes to the router, like the wireless signal itself. Like you're not changing Wi-Fi settings, so you really shouldn't be losing connectivity. So if you want to set it up on wireless, then you can. I pretty much try to do everything with wired as much as I can, but there's really no major reason why you can't set up, the settings that I was talking about with NordVPN, through the wireless connection you have between your laptop or your PC to your wireless router. Doesn't really make any difference. Next question is, Steve, didn't you do a video about setting up a VPN a while ago? How do you configure it though? You have your Plex server accessible from outside your network, or do you download on a separate machine from the Plex rig? Well, Steve, I actually touched base a little bit on this in my last month's video where it was like how do you connect to your Plex media server behind NordVPN? And my answer was literally, I don't know. Like I've tried it before and in my experience, I've gotten it to work before, but if it doesn't work automatically through the Plex interface where you just click go and it just automatically sets up the routing for you, getting it to work with any kind of manual configuration, manual port forwarding or anything like that, I personally have not been able to accomplish that. So what you're referencing though is pretty much what I showed was a tutorial, kind of going back to the last question. All it was doing was showing you how to set it up. So if you did want your entire network running through the NordVPN service, then you could use that tutorial in order to run your whole network. Obviously, if you have things like a Plex media server or other things running behind that VPN service, you might run into some issues where you need to specify something to be port forwarded and you can't do, in which case you might have to look at some other options. And without actually digging through that, there might be something like maybe virtual LANs or maybe even a second router, one that runs its own network connected to its own devices, keeping your Plex media server off of that network. So I don't really know for sure. I was basically just making that as a tutorial. So maybe that might be something I can look at or look into later. Next question is from Joe Doyle. Is Bud a sponsor? Well, Joe, I can tell you that Bud is not a sponsor. I am nowhere near big enough to be sponsored by Bud Light, the freshest drink in America. Actually, I don't know. I actually don't know what their catchphrase is. That was an unthought out joke. Next question. You pile of beep. You need to mention buying Plex Pass. It's not free to do this. Thumbs down. Well, Elliot, you're right. I forgot. Sometimes when I make tutorials on Plex, and this is all on me, totally apologize. I'm not even going to hate you for your hate, but I do forget that I'm talking about features that are Plex Passes only, and I will try to be better at that in the future. For example, the photo upload is a Plex Pass only feature. So, yes, I did actually make a comment. I pinned it to the top of that video. But yes, I should mention that in videos when, the features that I'm talking about are Plex Pass required. I've had it for so long. It's like I have like a lifetime though, so I just completely forget. My bad. Next question. From C128D. Arctic Silver isn't that blah, 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 blah. TLDR is basically saying Arctic Silver isn't that good and you need to find something else. And response to that, and you guys will see some of this here pretty soon. Maybe today. I don't know. Thermal Grizzly. Oh yeah, got this in. So this is going to be going on my my new processor, and this is going to be used as well. So, oh yeah. If you know what this is, then you probably know what I'm gonna do. Where did you get that Super Mario in the background? You were talking about the Shadow Box is what it's called. Yes, Shadow Box. I actually got that from Etsy, E-T-S-Y. I've had it for a long time. It's like a Mario Shadow. They actually have a bunch of different ones. So I will link in the description down below. Hopefully I remember if I don't yell at me, but I will link in the description down below where I got that. I think it was like, when I bought it, it was like 40 bucks, but I think I checked it again. It's like 60 bucks. So it might've went up in price, but it is kind of cool. It's like a little, I don't know. Check it out. Description down below. I don't make any money off that. I'm just saying. Next question is from Jeffrey. Are the moving blankets for sound dampening? Yes. A long time ago, I was working on Studio Space 1.0, and I was trying to find cheap alternatives to like the super expensive sound dampening material that you can buy online. And someone online or somewhere, I found something online that said moving blankets. So I went down to Harbor Freight and bought a bunch of moving blankets. I mean, I think I spent like 20 or 30 bucks on moving blankets, and honestly, they work really well. A bunch of people have made comments on how to make them more effective, but just one single layer of just regular thumbtacked up to the wall moving blankets added a lot of sound dampening, to that room. So it was a very good improvement for minimal cost. Very cheap. It's balling on a budget, tell you what. Next question from Candy. Why did you buy the M.2 Samsung 970 Envy blah 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 when you have okay? This is actually one question that was a part of a series of questions and or comments / attacks at me for my 970 Pro M.2 Adventure. And what this really came down to is that I needed more, C drive space. Like I needed more primary drive space. I was outgrowing my 480 gigabytes. Blame that on games. But I was outgrowing that, so I wasn't ready to build a new computer, but I knew I was going to build a new computer, so I bought a 970 Pro. And yes, I was aware that I wasn't gonna get all the speed, but I spent however much money it was on that 970 Pro, so I wanted to make some content around that. And who am I to go through and just do a normal review on a 970. But like, this is a 970, it's fast, here you go. Instead, I made a little bit different type content with it, and it was relatively successful. So just to address all of those comments out there, you know, calling me out for the 970, you should also realize like 2 weeks later, I finally got the rest of that computer in and I built it, and now it runs at full speed and it's nice and shiny in my new PC. So, it is what it is. I know that's your favorite statement. It is what it is. Next question. Commander Budman 1AO. Elite doesn't have so much of a learning curve, more like a learning cliff. Holy crap, you're absolutely right. It's steep too, but I can't say this with Elite Dangerous, and I really have thoroughly enjoyed playing it. Once you kind of sort of figure it out, it's kind of addicting. And once you kind of sort of figure it out just a little bit more, you realize that it was just all so simple the whole time. You just had to comprehend a lot of small moving parts to get to the bigger picture. But once you get all that, it becomes like, you know, second nature. So it's super fun though. Although it is definitely a grind. But in like a month or two, you could have like a lot of the top end ships if you just put a little bit of time into it. So I can't say that. Side note, I have a cutter and a Corvette, plus a bunch of other smaller ships, and all the primary engineers unlocked, and you know, all my stuff like decked out. So now I'm just, I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I mean, I've kind of accomplished the big stuff. Next question. David, ha 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 ha. Okay, I caught the Bud Light Ghost bottle, and now I'm pretty sure I saw the one hell of a massive hole in the bottom of his sock. I don't know why I included this question, that a car could drive through. I'm gonna ask for more YouTube dollars, LOL. Patreon these feet. I don't know if I have holes in this one or not. I don't even know why, okay. Yes, I just wanted to, I guess, laugh at myself, but I did have a massive, I wear my socks until I've pretty much worn a hole through the entire bottom, and then I throw them away, and then I buy new ones. But I wear socks everywhere, all the time. I don't go barefoot, so I wear a lot of holes. It is a thing, and I can't believe you noticed that. It was like a split second. Next, I give anything to have a PC built by you. Well, Kyle, as flattering as that is, it always feels nice to get a little bit of compliment. I can say this, while I consider myself competent when it comes to building a PC, there's a lot of newer technology that I do, you know, take my time with to try to make sure I understand and or just don't understand in general. And while I have built many PCs, I definitely do not make as good of PCs as people like Paul or Kyle or, you know, Jay from Jay's 2 Cents, stuff like that. So, you know, really, if you want to give anything to have someone, you know, on YouTube build you a PC, I'd probably hope for somebody like Jay's 2 Cents. I mean, not to like lick his butthole or anything, but that dude makes some badass PCs. So, you know, he is like the master when it comes to this type of thing, primarily with water cooling. But still, he has a lot more experience, and hopefully I can get to at least some of his level, or Paul's level, or Kyle's level, or whatever, and I can really make some beautiful PCs in the future. But I do like how it turned out. I mean, that case that I got, El Perfecto. I love it. It's awesome. So thank you for watching. Next question is, that's it. That's the last question. Okay. All right, well, I know it's probably a little bit shorter, I don't know, 18 minutes in record time, so that might be 10 minutes of playtime. I don't know. It's probably gonna edit down pretty much what it comes down to is that I've spent a lot of time at the lake. I just got back. I wanted to get this video done because I usually record these and release them on the 1st, but since I was at the lake, I actually came back to get some YouTube work done. And, you know, even though I got back, you know, late on Saturday night, I do want on Sunday to possibly live stream delitting my $1,250 processor, which is going to be scary. And I regret it already if I break it. But if I don't break it, it's going to be amazing. So, yeah, I'm looking at setting up a streaming PC and then doing some other stuff. I don't know. I'm like seriously just like struggling with the idea of breaking a $1,200 CPU. So. And I'm just exhausted. I'm burnt. That's what it is. I mean, I don't know how well it shows up. Yeah, face probably shows it more. But I got burnt. It just kind of drains you. I feel like I need to soak in like a bathtub of aloe vera. Cold aloe vera. But anyways, thank you all of my Patreon subscribers. Again, look for your name at the end of this video. Thank you everybody for watching. Like and subscribe below if you like what you see, and have yourself a wonderful Labor Day weekend. In the series of which where I answer questions and or just generally respond to questions. As always, guys, in this series, next question. Pile of shit. Next question, and have yourself a wonderful Labor Day weekend.